I'm here today with Chris Cordani in his 1980s jazz suit. I mean, come on, that is pretty jazzy, Chris.
1980s jazz. Are you talking about Jump in the Saddle Band?
I don't know what I'm talking about because I didn't have a TV, but I will tell you, those are like, that's what I would imagine you'd be wearing on MTV back in the days when they were actually making music videos, right? Or like you would be like that jazz guy or like the sax guy playing with, I don't know, like Richard, what's his face with the big hair? You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, yep. I like
Marks?
Richard Marx. Wow. Actually, I wouldn't be thinking of him. I had a friend who looked a lot like Richard Marx, by the way. No, I'd be more with the Thomas Dolby crowd, Kid Creole and the Coconuts, playing, hanging out with, watching those guys. I was lucky to see Kid Creole and the Coconuts in 2015 because they hadn't been in America in a long time. They came for 3 days. I got to see them at BB
Wow.
King's. It was absolutely fantastic, and they brought in Corey Day to sing. They brought in Ron Rogers, who was there. He's one of the great producers. It was one of the best concerts I had ever seen. And I'm not a superlatives guy, but that was a fantastic concert, once in a lifetime. My friend Adriana was the original Mama Coconut, so she got me in there,
Wow.
got me to meet the kid, and it was really fantastic.
Well, for all of you who don't know, Chris Cordani is actually sporting a ponytail back there. I could see it. It
Oh,
pokes through sometimes. So 80s. Just want to let you know. Hey, we have a very special guest with us today because we've got a special roaster. We've got a lot to roast, by the way. We have USAID. We've got waste talk, abuse talk. But we're going to bring on Autrey Pruitt, who's going to be joining us on our special edition here. He's joining us, I don't know where, from some undisclosed location. He looks like he's in a skiff. Are you like being like, are you getting like top secret documents as
I'm
we're.
right in the middle of the deep state, at the
oh,
heart of it, hired by DOGE to help them out.
oh, really? Pretty cool. But you got read
Live
only
from
in there, right?
DOGE. Live from DOGE.
It's
Live
read
from
only
Doge. That's
access
what it
for
looks
now.
like, you guys. That's the inside of the nerve center of Doge right there. Well, Doge has been exposing a lot of stuff this week. Oh, guys, by the way, it's only been 2 weeks, right? And
Yeah.
like, is it not like Christmas every single day? I mean, every single day something explosive comes out, some crazy stuff comes out, some world-changing event comes out. I mean, my little heart can't really take it anymore.
You're going to turn into Fred Sanford. Elizabeth, the big one. It's a big one coming.
Do people even know what that means? Red Sanford, Red Fox, you're taking it way back.
Oh, yeah.
He
Oh,
goes
you're
there.
kidding? Lamont, you dummy. There we go. Oh, Fred Sanford was a personal hero of mine.
That's you just dated yourself. You in that jacket.
That's
Did
like
you
me in
not
high
see the
school. I dated myself.
ponytail? Chris, show everyone your ponytail. Come
Oh,
on, let's
come
just see it.
on.
Let's see how
There it
long
is.
it's gotten.
It's getting longer, but I'm getting there. I figured I'd try to fool people and make them think that I cut my hair.
Oh, I thought you said you're gonna fool people and make them think that you're under 30, but
That's not going to happen. Oh no,
Ooh.
it just doesn't work. Oh boy.
So,
So
guys,
I'm getting roasted here on
you're
Prime
getting
Roast.
roasted. No, this is the wrong roast. No, we've got lots of people to roast today. Audrey's here to roast with us. But yeah, no, look, the news just broke today, right? About USAID giving millions of dollars to Politico, to New York Times, to CBS, all these places. I got to tell you, I've worked with these places. I'm shaking a little bit because I'm like, I'm not sure what I said or what, but we're constantly, constantly having to correct leftist narratives all day long, right? Audrey, like you and I and Chris on all our shows, we're constantly having to combat, the false narratives that are getting pushed out there sometimes. And now we know why, because they're getting paid by the US government to push out narratives that support Democrats. Have you ever heard of anything this crazy in your life?
well, I have heard of it. There was a guy named Alex Jones that used to talk about this kind of stuff, and nobody believed him.
That's
Nobody
right.
believed
By
him.
the way, his pronouns are now "you're welcome."
This is so true. Nobody believed him. The facts are at the government has engaged in a back-to-back conspiracy, if you will, to push narratives onto individuals. But you know who discovered this first? That green, he's not green. Glenn Greenwald, right? With Twitter.
Yes,
When
yes,
they
I
found
remember
out
that.
the
That's right.
FBI and those people were were paying Twitter to do certain things or calling Twitter saying, don't do this, do this. Zuckerberg talked about that in the congressional hearing, right? So that he would get a call from, Joe Biden's clone telling him what he could and couldn't do. So this is, to me, it's no surprise at all.
Now think about this. Politico, what was it, BBC, these major networks, the New York Times. First off, the New York Times has been known for about a century, yes, as propaganda for the far left, propaganda
It's New York
for the
slime.
Marxists.
It's New York slime. That's
From
what we call
Walter
it now.
Durante on forward. So you're looking at, what was it, 90 plus years. Walter Durante on forward, and probably even before that.
Yeah. I call it the New York slime. They used to call it the old gray lady, the paper of record,
the New York fish wrapper,
false record. I mean, it crime in Italy. That's the only thing. I used to watch this show called Everybody Loves Raymond, and you hear him go, crime in Italy. That's it's highway robbery is what it is.
It never ends for you, does it? It never ends.
You just said this earlier. 2 weeks. This is 2 weeks. I mean, they literally just got in the room, sat down at their desk, and in 2 weeks they've discovered this.
And the funny thing is, we're all conspiracy theorists for just hashing this idea out. But apparently, it's what's happening. Think about this. Angie, Austin. The U.S. the cash went to these organizations that were portrayed themselves as impartial, but they were receiving they were doing the quid pro quo thing for propaganda, and that's what has been going on. We have been seeing through it for a long time, and we just couldn't put our finger on the actual proof. Now it's there.
Your
Autrey,
audience should know this.
do you feel vindicated? Do you feel like your lying eyes are now like, oh, they weren't lying at all? We were always telling the truth because we saw through it. Sorry to cut you off.
No. I was going to say your audience should, I'm going to answer that question in a moment. Your audience should know this. There is never a non-biased government agency because they're always biased to the government. Always remember that. There's never a non-biased government agency. They all have an agenda, and it's to the government. And if it stays around long enough, it'll get twisted. Even with DOGE, if DOGE stays too long, it's going to get twisted. Do I feel vindicated? I wouldn't say I feel vindicated. It's just happy to know that, okay, everybody knows I'm not crazy now. Now you sound crazy if you call me crazy. Because I already knew what was going on. You guys already knew what was going on. Everybody, I mean, anybody had worked in media or had worked in government, I'd done both. Anybody that had done any work in government or media knew the real story that was going on behind the scenes because you saw the stories get killed by the editors. I'm sure, Angie, you went through this, right?
No, I mean, it was weird that I was brought in to be the conservative MAGA girl when I'm like, it's everyone in on this joke but me.
Yeah.
Look, what is now, because of all this exposing that Trump and his associates have been doing, the left are exploding. And that is the funnest thing for me to watch this week.
They are upset.
Right.
Oh yes, and did you see that screech fest they had the other day with Jamie Ratskin, Maxine Waters, that chick from New Jersey? I keep forgetting how to pronounce her name, but we're going to have them on in just a few moments. These people went absolutely crazy, and they're showing you how nuts they are, how upset they are that the deep state's getting exposed because they profit off of this themselves, whether it be politically or I'm not saying financially, but definitely politically or ideologically.
Yeah. I didn't see that. Do we have that clip?
Oh, well, that, my friend, sounds like a cue, if ever I heard one. Let's go to Jamie Raskin, who was
Let me see this, because I didn't see this.
Yapping around here. This guy is always good for basically a few bad hair jokes and a lot of laughs.
Elon Musk, you didn't create USAID. The United States Congress did for the American people.
Which, by the way, is not true. USAID was actually created via executive order. So that, my friends, is the first Jamie Raskin lie.
And just like Elon Musk did not create USAID, he doesn't have the power to destroy it. And who's going to stop him? We are. We're going to stop him.
Who's
Yeah,
we?
yeah, you and what army? These people here. the pencil, the pocket protector crew.
Well, what can they do? I mean, at this point, what are you going to do? Who's he going to sue now? The president? Who's he going to sue?
These guys are incorrigible. I don't even know. Like, I'm wondering, are they talking amongst themselves and like, oh, I got to go outside and do this crap again?
Yeah.
Like, they cannot believe this. I refuse. Nobody is this dumb. Unless you were Joe Biden and you were the dead president, you were just being propped up. Unless, and clearly he's not. They can't be this. They cannot be this stupid.
Well, here's a question for both of you. Who are they working for now? It's not the American public. Who are they working for now?
The deep state. It's obvious they're working for the deep state, and right now they are in defense mode. We're at a point now where either you are for the deep state or you are for the American people. It's one or the other. I don't like to say things are that extreme, one or the other, black and white. But at this point, when it comes to this issue with DOGE and with USAID, it's either you support the deep state or you support the American people and the American taxpayer.
Imagine the outcry if the USAID was giving money to Fox News, Breitbart, One American News, this podcast. Imagine what the left would be doing. They'd be holding hearings. They'd be busting down homes. They would be arresting people. Come on. We all know this to be true.
Yeah, they'd be saying, what are you giving money to that dork Chris for? Jeez.
You know, I was going to say something, but I'm going to be nice. I'll be nice to you.
Hey, I could write them a transgender comic book if they wanted to give me $35,000. I'll take 10 minutes, get it done, and I'll keep the money. There we go.
Yeah.
Done.
But doesn't every single government have a propaganda machine? I mean, like, I maybe we're just being naive to think, oh, we're exposing this one, but I mean, both sides have it.
Well, the difference is this: in most governments, the reason why it's so nefarious here, most governments, the propaganda machine is within the government. This time, the propaganda machine is outside the government, which was able to mask and fool us more. So the government did the old notion that they do in other countries. Rather than send our troops over there to fight, we'll just pass you money to get other. So that's what they did. Rather than have our own propaganda, we'll let Twitter do the propaganda. We'll let the paper of record do the propaganda. We'll let San Francisco Chronicle do the propaganda, and we'll just pass them the money.
That's right, and that backfired. Those the Twitter files backfired on that whole thing.
And the reason why Elon is perfect for this, people have been, Elon does, even on our side of the aisle, people have been very hesitant and skeptical of Elon. But the reason why he's perfect for this is because when he got to Twitter, he saw what the government was doing with Twitter, and he said, "Well, if they're doing it with Twitter, then they certainly must be doing it everywhere else." And that's why he lasered in and targeted USAID, particularly the programs that had the least amount of oversight.
Yeah. Speaking of which, another defender of the deep state, Chuck Schumer, decided to weigh in. And when I say weigh in, it's
Chuck Schumer, the fake Jew.
Right. It's very loose.
I'm sorry.
It's a very loose term when it comes to Chuck Schumer weighing in.
Also know this is just the beginning. If DOGE attacks USAID today, then you can be sure they'll move on to another target tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe it'll be the Postal Service or the IRS. Or
that doesn't sound so bad, the IRS. That's a good idea, right? Is he trying to scare us by saying that the IRS is going to be the next to be inspected?
I mean, he is like Dracula right there, right? He is scary. He's very, very scary. Look, his whole job, the only reason why he has the microphone is for fear mongering, right? But who's listening to him anymore other than us roasting him? I don't know if anyone like looks at him and like, oh yeah, that's a leader we can trust.
I mean, Chuck Schumer is the most anti-Semitic Jew I know. And I don't really know him. I've met him a couple times.
Yeah.
That's why I said he's a fake Jew.
I met him a couple times.
Against Jewish interests all
Chuck
day
Schmier.
long.
Chuck Schmier. We're going to call him Chuck Schmier.
Chuck Chutzpah.
Ask him why he was in Kiev 2 summers ago.
Well, this gets a little better, by the way. Check this out.
Oh,
or even the Social Security Administration.
See, they always stick in Social Security when it comes to scaring people. Every
this
time
was
every
crazy.
time there's something they don't like, it's always, oh, they're going to take away your Social Security.
Well, this was crazy. He actually saying, where are we going to look for inefficiencies next? It's like
Thanks for the
that's
list.
a bad thing. Okay, Chuck. Why don't we start with his office? Actually, let's start with his budget for his U.S. Senate office. Let's start there and see where his inefficiencies are.
He definitely is a waste of oxygen.
It could be next,
Yeah.
or maybe our national security agencies. We also know this is
There we go. And he also mentioned the Department of Education at one point too. Believe me,
Perfect.
that's
You
the
mean-
next to be checked out.
You mean the National Security Agency that was spying on Americans that we found out through Edward Snowden for like 15 years? You mean that's the agency we don't want to look at? Okay. Okay,
Is
Chuck.
this a setup? Is this a setup for a pardon for Edward Snowden? Because that's coming down the pipeline any
Yeah.
day now.
Or check this out. Perhaps the conspiracy theorist in me, which has apparently been right for the last many years, says that Chuck Schumer might be on our side, and he's just listing a bunch of things that he wants Musk and Trump to go after.
Ooh,
Chris.
that's a good. That's like a weird meta brain fart right there.
Chris, you're reaching.
You think?
I don't know. I mean, look, stranger things have happened. Maybe he's upset that he's not getting the USAID money or hasn't had it for a little while. So
No, Chuck Schumer's
I'm
upset that
joking
his
with you
Viagra
guys, you
came
know
late.
that. You want to, and then let's go back to that press conference from before, though, because there are certain Congress members that are trying to become stars over this too, like this woman LaMonica McIver, who is doing her best to channel her own inner Maxine Waters.
Let me hear this.
Will not take this. We will fight back. Fight back. Fight back. And as I close out, because I know we've been out here for a long time, and God damn it, shut down the city. We are at war. Anytime,
Who?
I can
Who's
pay
she at war with?
$50 million into a campaign, and they be given full access to the Department of Treasury of the United States of America. We are at war.
Oh, we're at war. Oh my God, I am so scared. What are you going to do? Yell
Look
at me
her
again?
Perfect manicure with those almond nails she's got. We're at war with the almond nails, lady. We're at war with the gold earrings, lady. Your boobs are hanging out. We're at war.
I know. I mean, that's a very pretty outfit to be at war, right? Gold and red.
What's crazy, if we were, she probably still would scare the other team. Oh, did I say that loud? Okay.
Are they
And
angry?
Maxine Waters behind her Maxine Waters behind her looks like she just rose up from the grave.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Ooh, But that's
And-
every day for her. That's actually a good look for her. At least her hair's on right.
All right.
Can I say it's a wig? It's a wig.
That's really Maxine
It's
Waters?
actually on right this time.
Oh, I keep mixing her up with Aunt Esther from Sanford and Son.
Jeez, oh, Pete.
Although I liked Aunt Esther.
But okay, explain to me this. They're pissed off because Elon Musk now has keys to the treasury that he can see what's going on. Isn't that the whole point of why Autrey is currently in the nerve center of DOGE right now, is to figure out what's going on and do a forensic audit? Isn't that the whole point?
Oh,
Yeah,
you mean oversight?
Yeah,
Oversight.
It's not even a forensic audit. He's just looking, saying, "Hey, why'd you send $5 million to CNN for what?" And you didn't tell anybody. This is just a glance. Do you realize they reported that there was 267 roughly $260+ billion spent in waste that they discovered in 2 weeks. That's about 1/3 of the U.S. defense budget. Imagine that. And that's what they found just turning on the computer, glancing at the screen.
Is that what you're seeing over there? Do tell us, Autrey, can you give us like some reporting from the inside, from your secret lair?
Listen, I can't really talk about it, but it's coming. And I believe in March, when President Trump does his congressional address, I believe he's going to have data points. he's going to be able to say, we found X, we found Y, we found Z. Oh, he's going to hit him and hit him hard.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, I can't wait for his first address to the Joint Congress. That's going to be insane. That's going to be the ticket to score, to be up there in the public box. Chris, we've got a lot more to roast here. What do you want to come up next? We can see all these guys crying, but honestly, I can watch this all day long.
Right. We can't have a roast, and we can't listen to that the fake Maxine Waters without hearing from the real one.
California! Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Is
We
she drunk?
have convened here in the right place, the Treasury Department. We have got to tell Elon Musk, nobody elected your ass. Nobody told you you could get all of our private information. Nobody told you you could be in charge of the payments of this country. We have told you you've made enough money off our government yourself. And
Oh, hold on a second. Now, I believe that the people of America voted for Donald Trump to set people up to do these same things that she's crying about.
Yeah, these guys on a real serious note, these guys like Maxine Waters and ladies, they're just like replaying the famous MLK moment in their head. They want to go down in history as the MLK of whatever generation. And so that's all. This is a show. This is a performance. These people go back home to their big mansions and to their private drivers and to their caviar, and they laugh and say, look what we did today. Ooh, cheerio.
What is that?
Chip.
What is that? Driving Miss Moron? Yeah, driving Miss Moron.
It's fake. You wouldn't. you wouldn't. And listen, actually compare Maxine Waters to Esther here is a slight to Esther, because Esther was a Bible carrying woman. Maxine Waters is a demonic carrying, Ouija board playing. Anyway, let me stop. Look at her. Look at her.
Yeah, she is perpetually angry, isn't she?
She is perpetually angry. She's like the devil incarnate herself. You know?
How does this affect our midterms, you guys? I mean, is she just auditioning to get primaried, or do they think that this is going to be a winning strategy come 2026?
Well, the question is how it affects their strongest seats, because her seat will stay Democrat no matter what.
Yes.
The question is, are the Democrats smart enough? And this is actually the scary point for us, that the Democrats could be smart enough to get rid of jokers like her and then bring in real Democrats that know better. So that's the sort of scary part being on our side, is that they're setting it up so that they can get primaried and then bring in real people who know the agenda, they believe in the agenda, but they know how not to be fools on national television. Remember She Jack?
Oh, they'll be less entertaining. We need
Sheila
more
Jackson
Stacey
was the
Crockett's
same
out there
one.
to pick fights or something like that on congressional floors.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Autrey. I mean, if the DNC can get rid of the trash, right, they could start afresh, because they know they're losing every single race. They haven't. I mean, look at just this past election, right? They completely lost, but yet they're up there on the microphone saying, "We won. We will fight." What? No.
Even in areas where Democrats won, the Democrats that won any new seats, or even at local races, the Democrats to the right that went to the center and to the right won. And so if the DNC is smart, they will actually get rid of the Maxine Waters. They'll get rid of the Jasmine. I forgot her name. The other. They'll get rid of those and run some individuals who are much more savvy, much more smarter, bring more intellectual heft, and know how not to make a fool of themselves.
Unfortunately,
now, is the DNC that smart? Probably not. But
unfortunately, it's not going to happen. And this is why. Look who they voted in as one of their as their vice chair, David the Head Hog.
Yep.
Oh,
That's
boy.
right.
the gun guy, right? Was that the gun guy?
Well, no, the guy who
gun guy.
basically he is the white Al Sharpton. He takes a tragedy and takes advantage of it and becomes famous from it. That's what he did.
Yep.
It's funny they have March for Our Lives while they're killing babies, but we won't talk about that right now.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it's
another
too
whole
similar,
roast.
right? The slogans are way too similar for
Oh,
that.
and by the way, another thing about Doge, the waste is horrible. You've seen the list of the list that was given out. I mean, by now people know there was the 47,000 for the transgender opera in Colombia, 1.5 million to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion in Serbia's workplaces. What the hell is that all about?
I
Serbia?
love this Sesame Street line item that they snuck in there. Do we
Yeah.
need like gay Sesame Street in Iraq? Is that what it was? Am I making this up?
I don't even. First off, what is Oscar going to bomb everybody? Anyway, that's pretty bad. But again, another story for another day. It's already bad enough Sesame Street itself kept took Cookie Monster away from his cook, or took Cookie Monster's cookies away for the most part. Now he only eats cookies sometimes. That's right. They watered down Cookie Monster. And another thing, I have another bone to pick with them. They replaced Grover almost virtually with that really annoying little thing I want to punch, Elmo. You ever want to punch Elmo?
Really?
Yes. And Grover doesn't get the screen time he used to in the 70s. No, they brought Elmo in. Elmo. Somebody step on him, somebody. Gosh, put him in your garbage can and eat him. All right, bring back Grover. Anyway, that's my rant.
Everything. There was a guy that used to be on the radio. His name was Rush Limbaugh. And he used to say something, and we all chuckled, but it was very much true.
My friends.
First of all, is this a adult podcast? I don't know what kind of language I can use.
Well, we do get some liberals that watch this, so maybe not. I'm just
so Rush Limbaugh used to say, eventually, everything that the Democrats touch turns to shit.
There we go.
And it's true. Everything.
We'll have to say dung in the future, but definitely that's exactly what happened.
Think about this. It was it I think Bush did the American with Disabilities Act. Nixon, I believe, did the EPA. And then the Democrats touched it, turned it to shit. Think about this. Everything that the conservatives brought about, Democrats touch it, turns to shit.
Yeah. And you know what? It took several decades for people to realize it, because it grows. It's like a slow burn, right?
Yeah.
You don't realize what they're doing because they're so sneaky about it. And then by the time it reaches the masses, it's way too late, because it's like completely infiltrated every single arm of our government, of our media, of our elections. And now it's like, it's only been 2 weeks. I know Trump and friends are trying to undo as much as possible, but there's just so much muck to have to like swim through and get through. I'm for one very happy that Elon Musk is sleeping inside a federal building right now. Maybe not even taking showers. He's probably taking Italian showers. Sorry if that's offensive to people, but you know what I mean.
That's okay. I'm Italian. This is also offensive too, by the way. 65, what is that? 65 or 68 billion? $68 million to the World Economic Forum out of the USAID funds.
Wow.
USAID was basically a slush fund for everything but the United States.
Correct. Thank you.
It's a slush fund for everything but the United States.
Yep. I want to disclaimer there, Angie.
This is actually great for Trump, because Trump won largely on immigration. We weren't taking care of Americans first. This is a rollout and a prime example. Not only were we not taking care of Americans first and just letting anybody cross the border, but hey, the money you give every year, or if you're a business, the money you pay every quarter, guess what? It's going to Serbia. It's going to Iran.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to the World Economic Forum.
Now, here's something I want to add. We do need something like USAID to pedal to at least gain influence in some of these South American or African countries that are rich in minerals, because China's doing the same thing. Now, I'm not saying we're going to be funding transgender parades or whatever else over there, or funding heroin growth over there like they did in Afghanistan. What I'm saying is that the BRICS nations could very well very soon control 72% of the world's rare earth resources. Yeah. We have to be on top of that game and beat some of these nations, definitely beat China to it. But it has been, as you said, to your points, both of your point, this whole thing has become abused. It's become a money laundering fund for leftist causes around the world. And that, my friends, is horrible. It's a good thing that Musk and Trump and the DOGE crew are sitting there like the Bobs from Office Space and weeding out the dead wood and weeding out the waste.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just so thankful that Autrey is there holding down the fort and to make sure that this country writes its direction. I know that he's got a very important job to do. Clearly, look at him. He's surrounded by what are we talking about? Like 16 security guys right next to you right now? Is that do they feed you?
There and there.
Do they
don't
feed
feed
you at
me.
all? Do they give you snacks?
They don't. There's no snacks here. All the
Hey,
No
that's
money's
snacks.
gone.
I mean, Musk is incredibly rich. At least he can get you some peanuts or pretzels or something. Maybe buy you some pizzas. That would be pretty cool.
There's no snacks. As soon as we get the money back from the World Economic Forum, they said they're gonna give me my snack budget back.
But those snacks from the World Economic Forum are going to be mealworms and roaches. Chocolate covered roaches, but still.
Can we get caviar?
No,
I'm sorry.
no. I mean, they're going to keep you. They're going to keep the government trim. You trim as well.
As you zoom in on me, I can't remember that. I'm gonna remember that one. I'm gonna remember that one.
No, but we hope you stay safe in your cave there, and you're doing a great job for the country. And I know you got to run, but I will tell you, I think we're all going to be doing really great things. 2025, I'm telling you, it's like as I said it in the beginning of the show, it feels like Christmas every single day. And I don't want it to end. I know it's going to end, but I don't want it to end because there's so much good stuff is coming around. As a journalist, I love this exposure. I love these great big headlines because then I deep dive. I go into my rabbit hole and you start looking at all the crap. And we've known for a long time. It was just too much crap to like swim through. But now it's like really coming out in the open. And I do you think, and this is an existential crisis moment here for Democrats, do you think they're going to be able to survive the next 4 years? Because we're going to see all the stuff that they've been burying and burrowing, for a rainy day. All of that is getting exposed. All the overseas accounts, all the weird stuff that they're hiding through government agencies. Is the Democratic Party going to survive in 4 years' time?
The Democrat Party is going to survive in 4 years, and I predict in 8 years it's probably going to come back stronger. If you look at the history of U.S. politics, what you find is real simple. When a party goes down in the dumper, an insurgent will come in, like Trump did, or like Clinton did back in the day, will come in and sort of correct the ship. So the Democrat Party, unfortunately, they're not going to go away completely. The Maxine Waters need to die off, and I apologize, but she's almost dead anyway, guys. She looks like she's been embalmed.
They prop her up. I'm sure by now they're gonna probably make an AI Maxine Waters to just keep running for the next 30-40 years because nobody else wants to be that kind of fool. So they need her for that kind of proxy thing to make everybody else look smarter.
Yeah, Democrats aren't going away. They're not going away. 4 years' time, they're going to go down a little more, but they're going to come back because they have to. Eventually, the market's going to say, we've lost every single election we can lose. There's no more elections to lose. We got to correct the ship. So they're going to come back and figure it out. And we want them to actually come back. We just don't want them to come back with crazy. Don't come back trying to chop off my kids' dingling.
They were doubling down on it at the DNC the elections, the vice chair elections. It was like this one woman's going, well, you have to make sure there's a man, a woman, a non-binary in there. It's like, no,
think about this.
That's what they're doing.
This is what's crazy about this transgender agenda stuff. It's going to forever be with us. Well, not forever. It's going to be with us a long time. Because if you were one of those stupid ass parents who tried to change their kid's gender, you now are perpetually have to support it. You have to stay with it. Otherwise, you're going to be forced to look at yourself and say, look at what I did to my own flesh and blood.
I am so happy that Trump put a stop to that.
Yes.
That hospitals cannot do that anymore. And it's Letitia James and other New York Democrats that are trying to say, well, that goes against our own state laws. Federal laws can't trump state laws over this. And they're fighting it to the end.
And you know what's crazy? They never, the Democrats always address the paper. They never address the morals. They never address the ethics because they know they're wrong. Letitia James's children would never be allowed to do that BS.
Letitia James's new campaign slogan when she runs or tries to run again for governor is going to be "Orange man bad, genital mutilation good."
Yep.
Horrible human being. Just a horrible human being. I refuse to believe that she even comes from the same American African ancestry that I do. You know, I'm giving her to the Chinese or somebody.
We don't want them either. We don't want her.
The Italians don't want them either. Nor do we Hungarians.
Okay. I guess it's Jews. You want her?
Oh, come on. Look, we need a big dumpster fire for all these Democrats that are ruining our cities and ruining our lives, ruining our laws and our agencies. I would love to, there's some sick fantasies I can have about that. But
Democrats' dumbness knows no color.
Yes.
Remember that.
That's right. But you know what? We're trying to figure out, and because of you, in that dark basement there, Autrey, we're figuring it out. We're figuring it out that they're all getting paid. And that, at the end of the day, will wreck them because they're getting paid to destroy America. Who's paying them? That's what we're going to find out. That's your job, Autrey. I'll give you 48 hours to figure out who is pushing that button.
I'm on the case. Me and the 17 security guards behind me.
Yes. Oh, well, thank you guys. And thank you, Autrey, very much. We hope to have you back. You've been amazing. I know you have a monumental job to do over there. Say hi to Elon, right? And all your crew. We're going to send you some good snacks. I think Chris is on it right now. He's on his Amazon order. You got to send him the secret address.
I will. I'll send you the address. Thank you so much. You both are great, wonderful, and continue to press forward. The universe needs content like this every day. We need to push back every day, have fun, show examples, show who we are and how we can love and tease and play and be serious all at the same time. You two are changing the world, and I appreciate you letting me be a part of that.
Oh, that's a heart. That was supposed to be a Taylor Swift heart, but it came out clawy.
Oh, no, I'm not doing heart hands. That just does not happen over here. However, I will say thank you. And by the way, you might get in trouble doing the heart thing anywhere, throwing your heart to people these days. So,
Oh, no, love and peace, everyone. That's I'm scared I'm doing gang signs.
You're gonna be the next Nazi salute. You're gonna be the next Nazi salute, Angie. Angie's on this podcast.
Given this one. Salutes. Okay, everything's good.
Oh
the Van Buren salute, whatever gang signs you want to flash forward, you're in good shape.
I'm sitting on my hands now. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us for episode 18 of Prime Roast TV. We're gonna be back very soon next week. Hopefully we get Autrey back soon. So thank you, Chris. Thank you again for a lovely show. We'll see you guys next week.